Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. So I'm just going to correct the BBC headline over here. A white man, Christian man, atheist man has been charged after a terrorist attack in Edinburgh where he stabbed 5 Muslims. That's what it should have said in the headline, but because it's a Muslim, they're going to add words like suspected. Yeah, suspected. We have to look at all of the facts. But what have you been saying about Israel? No, but Israel confirmed that, you see. Anti-Muslim, not Islamophobic. Apparently before they had the word Islamophobic, then they changed it to anti-Muslim, right? Terrorist? No? Going around stabbing Muslims? No, okay. You've even got MPs calling it out. Zara Sultana saying, where is the Cobra meeting, Keir Starmer? Because there was one when 2 Jewish people got stabbed in Golders Green. Or does that only apply when Muslims are attacked? Cobra meeting. We'll be lucky if it's called a terrorist attack. And where are the people that are calling for the religion of perpetrators? Yeah, because this past week they've been talking about grooming, right? So it's the Rupert Lowe Grape report specifying that it's Muslim Pakistanis when the Muslim connection is very weak. They're basing it upon the names of the people. So let's look at the names over here. Yeah, let's attribute religion to all of the criminals. Yeah, let's be across the board over here. So let's see what the guy was saying when he was arrested by the police. He's protecting the country from these effing Muslim bees, graping our young daughters, graping our kids. Enough is enough. I've had enough.
I have had enough.
Now, this is coming on the back of what? This, yeah? Literally, on the 16th of June, he released a Grape Gang inquiry report in which he attributed the grape, more specifically, the grooming aspect of grape to Muslims. Yeah, that was his conclusion, not backed by any academic, not any professionals on board, wasn't government backed, didn't have the academic rigor according to any expert, but it was plonked out there, and figures like 250,000 victims. Look at this, 250,000, literally news story after news story. Some people obviously are picking up on it, but that number was completely fake, artificial, no academia at all, nothing substantial. However, we live in a generation where people just go by headlines, right? People just go by whatever's on social media because that's the level that we're dealing with at the moment. And that's not just the far right people. I'm also talking about the Muslims as well, yeah? Because we're the ones that are being scapegoated, right? How many of you guys, if you're told about this 250,000 number, how many of you will know how to explain how utter nonsense it is? You won't know. How many of you even knew about this grape inquiry that came out? No, just carry on fighting amongst yourselves. Come in the evening, watch your dramas, backbite about relatives in Pakistan. Khalas, it's fine, it's okay. Yeah, living in your comfortable areas. Well, let's have a look at your comfortable areas, because in the last week, 3 mosques have been attacked and an imam's home was firebombed. This was in Batley, Blackburn and Bolton, yeah? Not to mention the Belfast pogrom that happened, but we're talking about the Muslim areas, yeah? You're comfortable in your mosques, huh? Scared to even make a dua about Palestine, let alone do anything substantial? Busy arguing with your committees and arguing which sect is right? Too scared to put out dawah tables? What's going on, yeah? You're gonna have to put out dawah tables now, and they're gonna be asking you these questions. Yeah, how about we start taking our heads out of the ground just because we're living in a predominantly Muslim area and we've got a very shandar, amazing, nice house, and I've got this big garden and I've got, fitted kitchen. What's the fitted kitchen going to do now? These 5 people that were coming out from one of the mosques in Edinburgh and they were getting chased by this guy with a knife. How do you know it's not going to be you or the imam whose house got firebombed when his family was still inside and he had to leave? Honestly, we need to get our head out of the ground and out of the clouds and live in the real world. not just in our little communities, because we're adding to the issue. In fact, I would say move out of these communities because you're just preaching to the preached over there. And frankly, you're not living to your full potential. Move around, befriend the British and the English people so they can see and show them the reality of Islam. Otherwise, these jokers and these clowns will, because they are groomers, they are Pakistani. They happen to be Muslim, yeah? Of course, the numbers are conflated and they're really pushing this agenda of it being a Muslim thing when we know that's absolute nonsense. These people are complete idiots and fools. But the guy with the knife was not chasing them. Frankly, if he was chasing them, I think people would be cheering him on. But it's the innocents, unfortunately and sadly, that get targeted. So you need to show these people real Islam, not the Islam that gets put forward by these criminals. And that's the unfair thing. Anytime a white guy does it, do all the white Christians now have to defend him and condemn him? How many churches are going to come out and condemn him? No, but the Sikh community has to do it. The Muslim community has to do it. The Jewish community has to do it. Well, I don't think they've been doing it when it comes to Israel. But nevertheless, some are making the effort. And this comes on the back of who? Muhammad al-Qasim, a Saudi student who was stabbed in the neck to death. Poor guy came to learn, just minding his own business. I don't think you can mind your own business now. How about now you start learning about what's going on in the world? Because when it came to this grape report, I don't know about you guys, it was only me and Abu Hafsa with a significant following that were even talking about it. From the Muslim Dawah sphere. You also had Maysoom Abdullah about a week or ago, a teacher who took a knife to the neck protecting his 3 students. In these 2 cases that I've mentioned, they didn't mention the religion of the perpetrators. They didn't mention the religion of these innocent people, the teacher and the student. Here the religion is not important. Yeah, it's not important, frankly. It's only important when we get to increase our vote bases. And that's what we see. Yeah, so it's important, ladies and gentlemen, that we know about these things. Now, you don't have to read that report. I did a previous video. I'm not charging. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you to donate. Alhamdulillah. I did it myself. And inshallah, I will try to have a group of volunteers that can help me with the research. You just need to watch it and understand it. You don't even have to share it if you don't want to. If you don't, no, I don't want to promote, he's not from my saved sect. No problem. Yeah, or you don't like, he's not from my country or my village. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I'm glad. You want to cause me harm? Benefit from that video? Don't attribute anything to me. Gone are the days, ladies and gentlemen, where we can just sit and do nothing. Look, wandering the streets. He thinks he's doing a service for his countrymen. He just found out. Yeah, he's a jahil. But frankly, our ummah, an ummah that we were told via the first revelation, Iqra, to read, but we become ummi. From ummah to ummi. Look at that. Wandering around with a knife, causing havoc because 250,000 white girls apparently have been raped. Of course you'd be furious. But that number is utter nonsense. And these people won't go beyond the headlines, and frankly you people won't either. It's just shameful, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do, set aside 10-15 minutes, subscribe to a few news pages, alternative news pages. Doesn't even have to be me. Doesn't have to be S2J News. The website that we made, the app that we made for free so we can get the Muslim news to you guys. It doesn't even have to be that. Just subscribe to a few journalists on Twitter and then understand what's going on and make your family aware. Because frankly, primarily, although these were men that were attacked, usually it's women. Guys, it is 1:30 at night, but I think it's very important that we stay on top of this stuff. Yeah, now people are saying that the guy was carrying a machete. No mention of religion, no mention of terrorism, no Cobra meeting, none of that, mate. Educate yourself. Don't be at the mercy of the mainstream and the politicians. Alright guys, let's leave it there until next time. Assalamu alaikum.